Alrighty ladies and gents, how you guys doing? Welcome to Apple Weekly number 52, the show where I cover everything Apple, just kind of go on what's gone over the previous week, give you my thoughts, opinions, and hopefully get some input of you guys, whether that be in the format of comments, iTunes, or just general abuse. Before getting started, I would very much appreciate if you can check out igear.com. In essence, one garment, and it caters for your iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch. Put it in there, no one kind of knows it's in there. The best thing about it is it's airport friendly, so it's got many pockets. Just put it onto the airport machine, extra security machine, and just simply walk through without needing to battle through your pockets, your jeans or trouser pockets, looking for that change, or that pen keeps on beeping when you walk through. Just have everything in the jacket, has 18 plus pockets, so there is a pocket for pretty much everything. So getting into the first story, Apple released its press invites. As I talked about it in the last episode, Apple were thinking of holding an education event, and that has come to reality as they sent out this cool looking press note. Isn't that nice? Apple know how to friggin' design something. Big Apple, it's being held in New York. And no, it's not the new iPad, it's not a new iMac, MacBook Pro, iPad, iPhone. It's not hardware related. And the press invite pretty much gives it away. It's something to do with education, whether that's iBooks. We all know in Steve Jobs' biography, Steve Jobs did want to change or have some sort of effect in the education market. So whether that's iBooks or iBook S or iBooks the second, whatever it is. Before Steve Jobs passed away, he did meet up with quite a lot of big publishers, book publishers that is. So could they have managed to get some sort of lastminute.com deal in? I guess everything shall be revealed come later on this week, which is a Thursday or Friday. This next story is a bit more juicier. iPad 3 heading for a March release according to Bloomberg. iPad 3 production has started a few days ago. It's in full kind of capacity, and it's going to ramp up even more across Apple's partners come February, and it's going to be launched in March as various reports have pointed out. So it looks like it makes sense having a 1 year life cycle on the iPad. Mine is lying over here. I must say I'm using it quite a bit more than over the past few months. I'm just finding myself more and more on the iPad too, but that's not what we're here to discuss. So what's it going to have is the question on everyone's mind. LTE, a retina display, quad-core processor. I'm secretly hoping that's not everything. I'm hoping more it's software related, because yeah, I mean the hardware is all good, you know, fast and so on, but if there's no software to utilise that, then yeah, and we all know how Thunderbolt, you know, was last year. Thunderbolt was released, hoo-ha, fast this, fast that, a year on, and we absolutely have zilch. I guess what I'm trying to say here is Final Cut Pro X for the iPad. This next piece of story is actually pretty interesting. Apple have rolled out their iPad and iPhone recycling schemes here to the United Kingdom and in France and some parts of Europe. So basically, if you take in your iPhone or iPad to an Apple store to recycle, you would get money back on it. How much that is the question, because they would look at it. If it's an iPad 1, it's got scratches, damages, they would kind of value and put money into your account. Now, this program has been working in the United States for a few months now, and it works kind of different because in the US you would just get an Apple gift card towards whatever they thought your iDevice was worth. But here in the UK it's actually pretty neat, so you would just get your account debited to however that much is, instead of, you know, if you don't want to put up on eBay or Gumtree, or heck, let's say if your iPhone was completely damaged, smashed screen and everything, and you were just going to chuck it in the bin, you could just take it back and help the environment, I guess. No, you wouldn't get any money or anything for it, but it would just ensure that Apple could recycle it more efficiently. Next up, the iPhone 4S was meant to be launched this week. Yes, I did say meant to be. It was scheduled to be launched on the 13th. It didn't go according to plan because it just turned up to be a big disaster. Loads of people turned up, whether that be just people wanting to buy it and then sell it on straight away, which is 90% of the case in China, where people just queue up and they get paid to stand there. But there's still a lot of demand, huge turnouts, and basically the SWAT team had to be called in because Apple decided not to sell it in the end on the day. People queuing up for hours or days, and this is a time where Chinese New Year is here. Chinese New Year starts in a couple of days time, so people are buying gifts and stuff only to find out they're not going to get a 4S because Apple have decided not to sell it. And it kind of is a shame for those of genuine people who have been queuing. It's been minus temperatures, it's freezing, they're having to camp out, stand outside, and lo and behold, nothing. And this video pretty much explains it by the Associated Press. Eggs were pelted at the screens of the Apple Store. The SWAT team is also there, as you can see, and the turnout is pretty much self-explanatory. So there's no 4S in China. You can't walk into an Apple store and pick up a 4S, and Apple has officially gone on record in saying, for the time being, there's no sales in China, although you could get it off the carriers or the online store. Next up, some MacBook Airs in the future are going to get even more faster and beefier. You may ask, what on earth do I mean by some? Now, as you're aware, if you buy a MacBook Air, there's one of two manufacturers that make MacBook Air flash storage. The first one is Samsung and the second one is Toshiba. Unfortunately, there's no way to tell at the store which one you're going to be getting. You have to physically open up the MacBook Air and go into File System and About Us and see what model number it is, and only then can you tell you've got a good one. Basically, the Samsung one is faster than the Toshiba one, and 95Mac visited the booth of Samsung at CES and they pretty much said, we've got faster ones coming. Now, when could this happen realistically? It could be today, or it could be the next generation MacBook Airs, which are due later on in the year with the Ivy Bridge chipset. Unfortunately, there's no way to tell when it's going to happen. Most probably it's going to be a silent update, especially if Apple continue to use two different manufacturers, and the reason for them using two different manufacturers is because of demand, and not one manufacturer can cater for the entire order by Apple. Or heck, Apple can even be using Samsung in the future models, but why wouldn't they be using it? So yeah, what I'm trying to say is, if you thought the MacBook Airs were fastest now, come this year they're going to be even more meteor. As you guys are aware, CES was held this past few days and there were tons of iOS accessories. Let me ask you this question: what was your favourite iOS accessory that you've seen at CES? You might have not been there, like myself, but what did you see from the various reports that you thought, wow, that was good? There was one that stood out for me the most for a few reasons, and that is the Belkin Thunderbolt hub, which has two USB ports, HDMI, Gigabit Ethernet, and it's also got FireWire. The two downsides to this is the price, $299 US, which is ridiculous when that's converted into pounds, or the UK price of it, I'll put money on it, it's going to be £299 or so. And the second thing is they're using USB 2. There's no mention of USB 3 ports. And the thing is, this device by Belkin is not going to be available till September of this year, which is end of Q3, start of Q4. And by that time, Apple and all these other manufacturers are going to be using Intel's Ivy Bridge chipset, which is going to be USB 3 by default. So why they've not introduced any USB 3 ports on this is kind of beyond me. Could they change it? You know, could they change the decision and say, okay, we're going to change it to USB 3, but it's not likely since they've also already demoed it at CES. So I guess those are the two, you know, issues that I have with it. But if you've seen anything cool, you know, please leave it down below. I'd love to check it out. But yeah, that is really one of the products that I thought stood out for me at CES. It has goods and it has bads as well. And Thunderbolt, 1 year on, we've still not seen anything, any consumer kind of device. Yeah, you've got a Thunderbolt display and you've got two high-end kind of storage solutions, Thunderbolt enabled, but there's nothing, you know, for consumer friendliness, I guess. And last but not least, the app of the week goes to, this is an amazing game, thanks to Damo for mentioning it on Twitter. This is a very addictive game. Basically, as you can see, you have to ride a motorcycle, avoid the cars, you can do wheelies, you get points the further you go up. Very simple concept UI, and you tilt the iPad screen. The application itself does cost 69p, but I'm telling you, it is going to pay off for itself because it is a highly addicting game. But guys, that's it for this week in Apple. I hope you liked it. If you have any comments, leave it as a video response or comment. If you're watching on iTunes, I would appreciate it if you would leave a nice comment in the review section. You can join me on twitter.com/i6glaswegian, facebook.com/iGlaswegian. Please do check out igear.com, even if you're not going to get anything. I would appreciate a like or a share on the social media tabs. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!